All right. Are we good? Are we good? We're great.
We're good now.
Fantastic. All right. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Ravens Flock.
Live!
Live!
Also, this thing's blinking at us already. Jeez, we just got started with
We
this.
just got started. Come on. Cut my friend here a break, man. He's running on 100% battery power. Ain't that right?
Apparently not, according to the blinking of the battery right up here.
Quick, Juan. Emulate what a human being looks like with low battery power. There we have it, folks. Unfortunately, we don't have any icons for full battery power because that's what I'm illustrating right now. So
yeah, sure you are.
Well, I'm certainly better than last week. Last week I was sick in a box.
Mm-hmm. You were sleeping in a cardboard box there.
I was asleep in a cardboard box. I was very ill. I wasn't feeling very well, very sociable. But thankfully, I can always depend and count on the fellow members of the Ravens flock, Juan included, especially Juan for all the hard work that he's done with production and everything.
I've seen some shit.
But that being said, the captain's back on the bridge and he's taking the helm. So
God help us.
Yes.
Hey, do you see an iceberg?
I depart!
Well, folks, we just broke the F-bomb barrier. We just broke the ship barrier. So in case you can't tell, yes, this is another episode of the Ravens Flock, and we are live and we are uncensored, meaning that we will be swearing. We will be giving spoilers to things, and anything that we say will be of our own opinions. So if anyone has any problem with that, kindly, go adjust your values and stuff.
Go watch something else.
Yeah, but we invite you, if you are open to the ideas of having more than one opinion out and it being different than yours, then
share it with us. Go ahead and go either join us right here on the videos on the video stream, or leave a comment on our YouTube channel, because we will be replying as we continue this.
You see our friend Nora Otaku is joining in already. Thank goodness for that. Hi Nora, how's it going?
I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys are doing great this Saturday. And today, let's start off with something a little positive, because
just a little, because come on, we need this.
Something good. Today marks the official 20th anniversary of the anime series, not so much the game, but the anime series of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, lordy. Okay, just so we can get this differentiated. Woo! The manga of Yu-Gi-Oh! The original, what do you call it? The comic, the animated, the Japanese cartoon comic book, the manga, created by Katsuki Takahashi, was originally published in 1998. The anime, however, wasn't created until the year 2000.
And it kicked ass!
Yes, especially the original season 0, if I remember correctly. That was a bloody, disgusting, beautiful nightmare of death. It was more a matter of like Death Note style, like, oh, the king of games is a mastermind at murdering people who are evil.
I mean, but when the actual series kicked off with Duelist Kingdom, the first season, it was awesome. Like, it was
so fun, and the game was broken and dumb as hell.
It was broken and dumb, but you could still get behind it, especially with the character struggles. Yu-Gi-Oh! Struggling to rescue his grandpa. Kaiba struggling to rescue his baby brother. Joey struggling to find some relevance into the series.
And he got it as an underdog type kind of guy.
Hey!
Yep. And of course, that's because we got it over here in 2002. Yeah,
came out in 2000 in Japan, came out over here in the United States in 2002. Unfortunately, handed over to 4Kids.
And God help us, we all know how that turned out. You have the goons chasing Kaiba, not with guns, not with actual handguns, but pointing at him very, very vehemently.
Mr. Pegasus would like to have a few words with you.
Adelinda Dragon Queen, what up, Flock, is joining us over here. Also,
Thank you for joining in.
Also,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Nora's over here saying, I'm doing pretty good. I forgot you guys are an hour ahead of me in Florida. You got to remember, we always say 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Eastern.
We're Eastern. Sorry that we can't help that, but
we don't manage time zones.
No, we don't. But we're thankful that you're both watching us, and please share this stream with your friends. Put it up on social media. Tell everyone about the Ravens flock. Tell people about us. Have them join in. We want to see more people flood our comments. We want to be overrun by comments over here. Wait, are the comments down here or are they to your right?
Well,
if you're watching on a browser,
if you're watching from a phone, they're going to be down
here.
But if they're watching from a browser,
it's going to be over
there.
That's right. So please, for the love of God, join in on the comments. Join in on the comments wherever you are, and jump in and let us know about your favorite animes and stuff. Because right now we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Yu-Gi-Oh! The anime. Yes. Adelinda Dragon Queen is saying, "I'm at work right now, almost closing time." Yes.
Yay.
Yes, very good.
Getting back on the subject. So yeah, the Duelist Kingdom arc. That was pretty awesome. I liked it. I think my favorite, apart from the final battle between Yugi and Pegasus, was I would have to say when Kaiba dueled Yugi the second time, and when he got the Blue Eyes
Ultimate Dragon. Yep,
that was cool.
And of course, this anime and this franchise had grown out to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, which to this day, Jose and I are still collectors of the cards. We have not actively played in any officially sanctioned tournaments in a very long time, but that's mainly because we're old.
Yeah, we're old. And plus, they keep changing the rules.
Yeah, they keep changing the game a lot. It was bad enough when we were trying to adjust to synchro summoning. That was like the first new big thing that was done. Mm-hmm. And then with a new anime, they came out with what was it? XC summoning, which Jose loves now because he's got this one gigantic dragon for his blue eyes white dragons.
Yeah.
This is starting to bug me. What do you guys think I should do?
Don't pay attention to that.
It's over my head.
Talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! So after Kingdom, they came Battle City. Battle City, I felt, was a step up because it brought in Merrick, it brought in Rare Hunters. It brought in the good guys, kicking the bad guys' ass.
Just letting you know your camera is using the blinking low battery.
We know that.
Yeah, we're perfectly aware. And the dumbest thing about that is we're actually using a USB-powered battery adapter for it. So, like, what I can do is I can actually switch to battery power. You'll still be able to hear us, but you can switch to battery power so it doesn't blink at us to death. Are you guys okay with that? What do you think, Joe?
I'll be all right with that. We'll go on that. But
all right.
While
you can hear us, I'm going to switch off the camera for a minute.
To see us, so while he goes ahead and fixes the techno stuff on the camera, Battle City was intense, especially the final battles. I kind of sort of have a soft spot for the temporary segue of that one miniseries.
Oh, the virtual world? That was so dumb.
Virtual world?
No, that was dumb.
Yeah.
That would have been better as a epilogue type thing.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of?
Well, that's my personal opinion. Then afterwards...
Oh, your opinion's stupid.
No. You want to know what we can agree on? The freaking arc with the legendary dragons and darts. That was absolutely stupid.
There we go. Now we got it.
You want to talk stupid? That arc was stupid. That's when people tuned out. That's when people, in my opinion, started tuning out. With the darts arc, with the
Orichalcos.
And then afterwards, we got Dawn of the Duel, where they reintroduced Bakura.
It was the Millennium World arc, where we were traveling to ancient Egypt, and we got to see the origins of the Pharaoh's time, and how him and Bakura had always been locked in this eternal confrontation.
And Kasara.
And High Priest Seto winding up becoming Pharaoh afterwards because the dual king Pharaoh, he has to sacrifice himself to save humanity,
and then
of course.
Then there's also the final duel between Yugi and.
Well, we skipped over another thing, but there was a Kaiba World Championship or whatever.
Oh yeah, I barely remembered that.
Everyone barely remembers that.
Then, of course, the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise and 4Kids, they spawned out other series, other different TV series. There was Yu-Gi-Oh GX, which...
Hang on. I'm over here seeing... I missed the Toy Gears. What is the Toy Gears? What is that?
Then
were you talking about
GX? Then there was Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. I saw a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. It was all right. It wasn't as exciting as the original, but...
Yep. Then we had Yu-Gi-Oh Zexal, and then Yu-Gi-Oh Vrains, which is the current one, I think. Or are they already wrapping that one up?
I don't know.
And that's how, and that was over the span of years of different anime coming out.
They also spawned movies.
Yes, they did. The last movie that came out was the Dark Side of Dimensions, which we had famously done a podcast video episode, which for some reason still getting views on Facebook to this very day.
I know.
Hang on, here we go.
Oh,
Here he is.
Joining us? Who's joining
That would be Angel here. Let's go ahead and bring our buddy Angel in. How you doing, brother?
Ladies and gentlemen, reporting from an undisclosed location hidden inside the bomb shelter withstanding quarantine is our very own Angel Mendez.
Hello everyone, it is good to see you once again in this time and land of scarcity. How are my folks doing today?
We're doing great, Angel. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the anime series of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yay! Once upon a time a man had a dream. And then they told him, that dream is fucking stupid, make more card games. And that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Was born.
God almighty. I'll let you
kidding,
take
that's
center
what
stage
happened.
while I manage stuff.
Yeah,
go ahead.
right ahead. Angel,
How's it going, man?
Going over the chronological orders of like how the series came out. We're right now talking about like how there was like different adaptations of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, GX, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, all that stuff. Not exactly not exactly as exciting as the original. I personally liked 5Ds a little bit.
Personally, my favorite is 5Ds as well, especially considering that after 5Ds, there was a noticeable dip in writing quality. Fun fact though, I do recommend that when you get the chance to, you check out the manga. The plot is quite different. It leans quite a bit more in the post-apocalyptic side and the writing duels. And it's a bit shorter too. It's like 9 volumes only, but overall, it's actually pretty good. So if anybody enjoy 5Ds, I highly recommend you check out the manga. They got some cool stuff in there.
Awesome, dude.
Also,
we were also talking about the movie.
Also, Nora was trying to clarify what she meant by the toy gear. She was referring to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Disc toys.
Oh man, I remember those. I never had a chance to buy one of those.
Guys, can I top that?
What?
Who here remembers the Dungeon Dice Monster Saga? That was fun! I don't care what people say. That was fun!
It was the dumbest filler, but it was fun filler. Because you can never tell whether it was meant to be filler. Speaking of which, and speaking of games, does anybody here remember Yu-Gi-Oh! The War of the Roses?
Yes.
Just a second. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, he'll be back.
Oh my god, Duel of the Roses, man, that was such a long time.
Yeah, like the thing is that was like a PS2 game. But it was like,
Combinaron los dos piles, hijo de puta.
we can hear you, Angel.
Mute your mic.
That's fantastic.
I just went ahead and muted Angel for now, so he has his privacy. Right. When his camera comes back on, we'll go ahead and turn his camera back on.
Regardless,
his mic back on.
Yu-Gi-Oh! The Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise has definitely gained a success, not just in the anime, but also in different game variations, the trading card games specifically, and in the movie franchises. Even though some of the movies were good, others were let me put it this way: Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, The Pyramid of Light.
Hey. God Almighty!
And it's
okay. Here he goes. He's back now. I
apologize. I suddenly took a look at my bill, and my bill said "fuck you."
Ow! God damn it! We hate to hear that, dude.
Yeah, the fantastic assholes at my car company decided that they were going to delay my billing, and then they were just going to shove both bills by the end of May. So, hey, buddy, for the quarantine, you don't have to pay for April. Just pay the whole thing by May.
Eat a fat
fucking assholes, man.
Eat a fat stack of dicks.
And these companies wonder why we had no respect for them.
Hey, Angel, do you remember Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie with the Pyramid of Light?
All I remember is that I got 2 out of the 3 promotional cards, and I never found the third one, and it pissed me right off.
Which was
they're useless by themselves. The actual Pyramid of Life itself.
You know what? To this day, I don't have that card either. We don't have it either. We never went and grabbed it. Like, there's like, as far as like the card game goes, I'm just remembering one little controversy that came out, which is in the beginning, trading card games and the tournaments were officiated by Upper Deck. Now, Upper Deck had decided to.
Dude, your sound is going in and out. You keep clipping in and out. Are you okay?
Okay, yeah, I'm good. How about now?
Much better. Go ahead.
All right. Now, as I said, Upper Deck Entertainment used to run the officiating and sanctioning of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments back in the day. Until one day, Upper Deck Entertainment decided to print cards without Konami's permission, and they specifically printed flavor cards of the Seal of Orichalcos. This controversy led to Konami splitting ways with Upper Deck and namely because they gave those cards to judges and they gave those cards to preferred players. So,
Yep.
and it literally wrote in the cards that if you win this duel, you win your opponent's soul. I'm not joking.
Rosa is asking if we have the Egyptian god cards. Yes, we do. Ironically enough, I ended up liking the Sacred Beasts a little more because they were more useful. To this day, the Wicked Avatar is still one of my favorite cards.
Those are the Wicked Beasts.
Right.
The Sacred Beasts.
The happy Fun Time Ball.
Yeah, we know what you mean. We know what you mean.
Do not anger Super Happy Fun Time Ball.
But regardless, the anime was a success. It still gained millions and millions of fans to this day. And if I had the time, well, I mean, of course I have the time, I would definitely go back to the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! And start from episode 1 with Yugi and Kaiba about to duel.
It would have been nice. Unfortunately, it seems that after 5Ds was when things began to take a turn for the, I'm not going to say worse, I'm going to say disappointing. Zexal was the game that introduced the XC mechanic, which, as we know, destroyed the balance of the game farther than Synchros will ever hope to. That, combined with a plot that made completely no goddamn sense and a surprisingly obnoxious main character, and a level of dueling that made ass pulls from Dragon Ball look like a playground fight. Like, okay, let me put it this way. This is what Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal did. You know how Yugi sometimes just happens to draw the card that he needs, and it is said that he's manipulating fate or that he just believes in his cards really hard?
Yeah.
In Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, that was an actual power called the Shining Draw. And later down the line, the main character fights a guy whose power is that he can literally do Shining Draw every single turn. It was also the introduction of level 13 Exceed monsters, which basically means the power levels went so fucking bananas, I don't even know where they're going. Like, this stupid thing is so hard to summon, you literally have to do Shining Draw in real life just to get it on the field. And then somehow the main character goes evil and develops something called Dark Draw, which doesn't really seem to have much of a difference. And the best part is, the best part is that this happens halfway through the series, and beyond that point, it just keeps getting more and more retarded.
Oh my god. Well, thankfully, we have hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans who still like when the series was good. In other words, who still like Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, and so on. Thankfully, we have those.
Yeah. Adelinda Dragon.
Are you sure you thought Marek was cute? Are we talking about normal Marek or the one who skinned his father alive?
Yes.
They're right there.
They're the same one. Also, Adelinda Dragon Queen, a long time ago, my ex-best friend had given me a Dark Magician Girl from his prize book collection. That's nice. I've got Dark Magician Girls to spare for days these days. Didn't you guys always say whenever I would use my Exodia deck that I'm Mr. No Fun Allowed when we're
pretty much
bullying me?
Yeah.
God.
Yes. Until I develop my own Exodia deck and then fun stopped forever. It's still there. I got a big pile of all cards of Exodia types just collecting those. I'm thinking of doing something with them. But see, we're not done yet because Zexal was kind of a pain in the ass to get with. But the game was still playable. With some strategy and skill, you could still get through it. And then motherfucking Pendulum showed up.
Yeah.
What's that? I couldn't hear you over the sound of me shitting my entire deck onto the field on turn 1. Hang on.
I was going to say, dude.
1!
Yeah.
We already know that the game...
He got bad, man. He got bad.
We're talking about the anime.
No, that's what I'm talking about, too. The anime was also bad.
Yeah, the anime was also bad.
The anime for Zexal began promising. It began the Arc 5 began promising, and then it just slowly dipped into mediocrity. By the end, it felt like it was trying to do what all the other shows were trying to do at the same time. And failing miserably at every single one of them.
That's what happens when you follow the same format for each anime and you think that it's going to hook audiences.
Like, there's a way to have the right formula, but you've got to execute it properly.
Tell me this sounds familiar. Sorry. Tell me this sounds familiar. The main character has an evil dark side that he gets possessed with. So all his friends have to duel him. To duel them, he summons a giant dragon and fuses with it. The fight ends when he surrenders himself. Tell me that doesn't sound like every other Yu-Gi-Oh! Combined at the same time.
It does.
Yeah.
It's this.
Literally we took the concept of every other Yu-Gi-Oh! And just mashed that shit right in there. I'm playing Persona 5, by the way.
Example of lazy writing though if you're using the same formula for different adaptations for different series for you.
Like, could we what if I'm understanding correctly? The original Yu-Gi-Oh anime that lasted until how long was it? 2007.
2007,
7,
2006.
yes.
Okay,
Had a good solid ending.
that's
4
7
seasons.
years for it, and we've had how many series since then? Like, yeah, okay,
Hang
GX,
on. Original, GX, 5D, Sector, Arc 5, and now we're gonna have Sevens, which is basically the phone game turned into an anime.
I'm done.
right? So
Oh no, you ain't
can
done
any
it.
of these other can any of these sequels just be given time to develop? Give us time to get to know the characters, please, instead of being gigantic fucking commercials
Give
for
us
the card
effort.
game.
Give us
Sorry,
effort
brother.
in your story writing.
Only 5Ds got proper development, and he ran into a snag. You guys remember Carly, the girl from 5Ds with the swirly glasses and the green hair?
Yes,
Yeah.
the nerdy girl.
She was actually a very important character who had to be suddenly and unexpectedly written out of the show because her voice actors got involved with a sex cult.
Oh, man.
So yeah, there was a very bizarre moment in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds where a very important character just kind of has her plotline solved and just disappears from the series, and I'm like, what happened to you? Oh no. And there was also the fact when there was also the fact with another case, you see suddenly one character get not written out but shoved aside because another important character shows up and becomes the main character, and that's Crow. And Crow wasn't really that important. He was supposed to die. But he survived because his stupid Blackwing archetype was so fucking overpowered, they had to sell more cards. That's what happens when you have a show that is based on commercialism. The plot goes wherever it has to go.
But
and even with all that, though, even with all that, 5Ds
right?
is one of the best ones.
Yes.
Yeah, no, like I did actually like 5Ds in terms of story arc and there's a storyline on there. But hey, we gotta feed the capitalism machine and just keep cranking out animes instead and make them commercials for the cards instead of letting the card game naturally evolve on its own based on demands and based on trends within the tournament scene instead of dictating what you want to happen by shoehorning a new anime series. It felt like with Brains and what do you call it, Arc V and Zexel and all those guys, like those three had all come out with like 2 or 3 years of each other. So it was like, come on, we need a little more breathing room. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Based on what we're discussing, like it's either lazy writing or they're not even trying. It sounds like these same formulas that they're using for the different arcs for different adaptations, like they either phone it in or it's just set up automatically.
It's also affecting the actual game itself. It's nearly impossible to play the actual Yu-Gi-Oh game unless your deck has been optimized for one archetype and only one. Variety? We don't need that shit.
Nevertheless, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is still marketable. If there are kids who will play the game and who will buy the hell out of those cards, you bet your ass that they're going to do everything they can.
You know one thing that does disappoint me about the new series, though? The fact that, above all else, we have lost Takahashi's iconic art style. The new series looks like it's trying to be Pokemon. It's just...
So it looks like the Japanese anime version of CalArt? Is that it?
Yes. Actually, speaking of Pokemon, this is something I didn't know. I apologize for segueing here.
All right.
There's a reason, like, people tend to actually underestimate how big Pokemon got. Do you guys know how Pokemon dominated the television series during the 90s?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a wonderful time.
When it came out, that thing got more ratings and made more money than Pinky and the Brain, Animaniacs, and Batman the Animated Series combined.
Whoa!
And that's what allowed an avalanche of anime to briefly come to the States during those times, because the producers looked at this when this show with a fraction of the budget is making more money than all the shit we're doing here because of the yellow mouse. We gotta get some of that shit here.
That's wild.
That is wild.
It was insane at the time.
And of course, we also have cosplayers who are celebrating the 20th anniversary. You know, we have cosplayers who cosplay as different Yu-Gi-Oh characters.
Kendra.
Cosplay. They cosplay as Seto Kaiba.
Hey, Kendra Balenci is joining us on the stream. Hey, Kendra.
Hey, thank you for joining us.
It is good to see you.
Just to name a few examples, No Talent Cosplay. She just premiered a cosplay of the Pharaoh, like dressed in like black, like leather or latex or whatever. So that was pretty cool. And Yeah, like I mean, yes, there are some grimy parts of it, but we all remember the original Yu-Gi-Oh, and we all still appreciate it.
Yep.
That's all I got to say about Yu-Gi-Oh, the 20th anniversary, because unfortunately, we got to take a turn down south.
I was gonna say also, Nora. I thought that Pokemon was stupid. That show never ends. You're right. It never ends.
It never ends.
Except what it did. If it's any consolation, though, it took 22 years, but Ash finally did it. He did won the league, and he did become a champion. And in the most recent series, he's actually acting like the experienced trainer he's supposed to be. So, took them some time. Also, Joe, you know what? Good point to you. We will always remember the original. You know why? Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions blew fucking everybody away.
Oh, we talked about that already.
We talked about that.
Well, I missed that part, but you gotta agree with me. That for a brief moment, it rekindled my love for the series. Because it was honestly just a really good movie with, good God, the animation.
The animation budget was through the roof. It was just
okay. This movie is to Yu-Gi-Oh! What Dragon Ball Broly Super is to Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, the animation budget's like.
Yeah, we already talked about that on the Black Files, and surprisingly, and Juan pointed this out before you jumped in. We have a whole bunch of views on the Black Files episode here on the YouTube channel.
It's on our Facebook page.
Oh, on our Facebook page. Yeah. We have more views on the Facebook page than any of the other stuff that we posted.
Which is weird. But you know what? Like, it just goes to show how much of a phenomenon Dark Side of Dimensions was. It was a nice, beautiful swan song for the original series. All right, well, we do have to actually move along because we got some news we got to talk about. We've got to talk about the recent announcements of Anime Expo and San Diego Comic-Con announcing their cancellations for this year.
Their cancellations, and they're being put off until next year, 2021.
It is brutal.
No, my man. That is destiny fulfilled.
Destiny fulfilled. How do you figure that?
Well, hang on a minute.
Imagine a picture of Corona holding a gauntlet and going, I am inevitable.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, before we divulge into your Corona can, Juan, give us a little bit more info on the cancellation.
Okay, it's pretty much exactly what Expo and San Diego Comic-Con. Move over. Let me get in.
I am letting you in. Go on.
Okay, so
ladies, please don't fight. You're both beautiful.
Fuck you, dude.
So San Diego Comic-Con, one of the biggest cons in the United States,
and Anime Expo, like the single largest geek con, like anime con in the country, have both closed off. They were both supposed to come out July of this year.
Yes,
and they said no. Corona-chan is too strong. We don't want to risk this. If you want, you can either get a refund or you can defer your ticket for next year. We're super sorry. We don't want to put our attendees at risk. And it's so freaking ridiculous. It's just such a pain in the ass.
We're right now in the middle of April. And so far as COVID-19...
3 months away.
Yeah, 3 months away. And so far as COVID-19 is concerned, it just, like, the situation just seems to be getting worse and worse with lots of other cancellations of different events that are coming up.
I was actually going to say, Angel, I think I hear something on your background over there.
What do you hear? Is it music?
Yeah, it sounds like music, dude.
Yeah, you're playing.
Sorry about that. The volume was too loud. I'm playing Persona 5 as we speak.
Oh, joy.
Wow.
Gee.
I love the power of multitasking.
Yeah, let's see you're invested.
I am actually quite invested because Schadenfreude guides my every move and breath that I take.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Besides, let's be honest, guys. At the end of the day, this isn't really notable news as much as it is inevitable news. A huge gathering of people with a huge combined interest in a very cramped space with questionable levels of personal hygiene. There is no way this wasn't going to get canceled.
Well, it's inevitable, yes, but we are still holding on to hope that there would be some positive developments as the days go by.
Are you kidding me?
I understand where you're coming from, but Joe, at this point, the only positive development is when the medical community comes together and tells us it is now cool to get closer to other people. Until then, as I hate to say it, and usually I am giddy for the bad news, but as long as this goes, this is just going to keep happening. What we're seeing here is simply another step in the chain of events that is going to keep repeating itself over and over until we find a definitive cure for this disease. I hate to say it, but this is literally something that even before they announced it, we should have known it was going to occur.
True. Now, as far as cons here in Florida, Anime Festival Orlando has announced that they have postponed their convention until November of this year.
That's right. We got that announcement earlier this week on their homepage as well as on their Facebook group page. Let me actually pull up the dates over here. Was it 11th, 14th? Give me a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So yeah, it looks like this year the anime cons are all going to be bunched up, and during the winter time, during the fall and winter time. And while that's going to be fun, it's also going to be chaotic to try to wrangle our time and our schedules to go to these conventions and shit.
Yeah, man, November, December, that's like time of the holidays, man. Thanksgiving.
The question is,
November.
the question is, will things get better by November and December?
We don't know. We really don't know.
I apologize for dumping the bucket of ice cold water here. I don't want to be the spoil sport, but let's be honest, guys. There's a chance we might not be able to go to any cons this year because of this.
I really hope that we can go to something. Like at this point, any cons during like the tail end of summer and through the fall, those are at the lower risk of actually having anything happen. But on the other hand, with San Diego Comic-Con, the largest freaking convention that was in the end of July, going ahead and saying, nope, we're canceling the fuck off. What the hell? That just bodes ill news for everyone else.
Now, for our local audience who's watching here in the Tampa area, MetroCon, one of the popular conventions here in the state of Florida, they have been updating us with different pieces of information as weeks go by. They're still going ahead with their convention weekend in July. They have been apparently, according to the MetroCon website, their latest statement, they have been keeping their eyes and ears on the news. And they've also been in talks with the city of Tampa as far as them following the correct regulations and guidelines with COVID-19 going on. And until something changes, they're still going ahead for having their con in July.
Now, what do you think about that? Do you think that would actually be like that they're playing it smart, or do you think they're being a little too overconfident and because we know that our shit's a lot more lax right now, even though we're starting to see upticks on people being reported with the case of this stupid virus. Like, do you think we're being overconfident in terms of Metro, or do you think their plans on going ahead are justified? What do you think?
Okay, first off, Rosa, tell your boyfriend that he's a man of taste and culture, and I respect him deeply. Second, on one hand,
drawing rookie from bleach.
I believe that they are being optimistic. I believe that they are being optimistic on the grounds that we're just in April. We got 7 months to go before this whole thing blows over. So it is very possible that in 7 months, it would be perfectly possible.
What's 7 months?
Hang on a second.
No, it's okay.
Oh my goodness.
No, he muted his mic. Something came up.
Okay, so as I was saying, when is the con? You said November or December?
July of this year. 3 months.
Okay, so 3 months. In that case, I'm sorry, I mistook the date you were telling me. In that case, yes, I see it very unlikely. I see this very optimistically. The point is that in the last 4 months, there has been barely any progress. In fact, the virus is getting worse. It's going for your toes now, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, I heard that there's a strain where there's a symptom where you have lesions on your toes, on your actual toes, people.
And there might be one that may go. There's one that might be going for your kidneys as well, by the way.
You gotta be freaking kidding.
The situation with the virus is getting worse, not better. It's actively getting worse. We reach 160,000 deaths, by the way. So 3 months from now, unless there is an amazing medical breakthrough, this feels like they're overestimating themselves. On one hand, it's 3 months. A lot of things could happen in 3 months, you know? On the other hand, look at all the shit that happened in 4 months. And none of it was good. So, on one hand, I really want to believe that they're just being cautious. On the other hand, this feels like they, like everybody else, is just waiting for a miracle to drop. Because the way things are going, I gotta be honest with you, I don't see it happening.
Like, that's another issue. That's an issue that I'm hoping against hope that we don't have to deal with. I'm being cautiously optimistic about this stuff. That maybe we'll have something happen in July, but the odds of that are not looking good right now. Like we don't look. It doesn't look like we've gotten any improvement since this whole.
Unless there's some piece of information that they know about that we don't know.
We're also forgetting a small detail.
What's up?
Guys, what usually starts around July in Florida?
Hurricane season.
Yeah, hurricane.
What are we thinking that it's gonna get washed away like the freaking tide with
I'm thinking they're going to activate polymerization, and we'll have the problems of now combined with the shit that usually goes down in hurricane season.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that
we're
would
not
be
ready for
terrible.
that. I mean,
It's gonna happen. Hey guys, I just realized we don't have a name for the hurricane for this year. What do you think it's gonna be called? Corona number 2?
Hurricane Corona.
Mambo number 5.
Corona Ultra Instinct.
Mambo number 5.
Super God Super Saiyan Virus number 5. No, it's just COVID 20.
That's gonna be so ridiculous.
COVID 2020.
Well, as always, Metricon will continue to update us on a weekly basis, so they'll keep us informed if they're going to move forward or not.
And we're bringing this up, and we're just bringing this up as commentary, not because we have any sort of insight with what is happening in the management of Metricon or anything like that. And we're not trying to we're raining on people's parade. No, we're trying to look at this as dispassionate as possible, because we want there to be a Metrocon. We want people to be able to come together in celebration after this mess. And you better believe that the conventions are going to be a big fucking party of relief and stress reduction afterwards. But if we pull the trigger too soon, we'll wind up blowing ourselves in the foot instead. And I would not like to be, I would not like to be in Metrocon's position if that winds up happening, because that'll hit them in their wallets, and they don't need that.
In fact, there has been reports already of this kind of thing happening. People rushing to the beach that was open because of it. I believe cases will start popping up in a few days. There's already been cases of people. There's also been cases of people from the clergy dying because they insist of holding church service when they know they shouldn't. And hey, man, I respect your religion, but if you want to meet the Lord that early, that is not the way to go. Okay, question here: if you're a priest and you die of coronavirus because you insisted on holding church, what do you think the big guy upstairs is going to tell you when you get there?
You'll be like, okay, look, I understand your devotion, and it's really appreciated, but I'm not asking you to die for me. I died for you guys about a couple thousand years ago. I just needed you guys to not be assholes with each other, and we'll be fine. You couldn't even do that right. Come on.
Don't be all like, stop.
I'm sending y'all to purgatory for now. You're not going to hell because you didn't commit sin.
That's right.
But I need to quarantine your asses out of heaven for 14 days.
Heaven is under that's going to be the title of the podcast. Heaven under quarantine. Your soul is going to purgatory if you die sick in church.
Oh my God.
Listen, man, the servers are overloaded. I gotta download a patch, otherwise the save is gonna get fucked. You're going to purgatory for a while. Can I roll a new save? No, you can. You're going with purgatory with all the babies that are not baptized. Go, get over there.
Yep. You just be surrounded for 14 days by unbaptized babies.
Imagine going to heaven and seeing St. Peter at the gates with a sign that says, "I'm sorry, we're full."
God dang it, that'd be terrible.
That would be hard.
And good time, man.
Also, one thing that I noticed over here, the way we're seated and the way we're set up on the live stream is almost like how we're normally seated if we were all together in the studio together.
I know, right? Isn't that awesome?
If my wall was white, I would. If my wall was painted white, it would just be that I'm sitting in the corner of the room. Just go there and think about what you said.
Like, the thing is, this wall behind us is white, but we got one wall over here that's pink, but there's a closet next to it, so of course we can't film in front of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like we. At the end of the day, we all are aching to go to conventions again, to see each other again, to have photo shoots, to wear costumes.
We want to get back.
We want to scare the normies again.
We want to get back to the fun times of going to conventions, even if it's a weekend. It's still the experience of being around friends, the experience of going to watch these shows, meeting guests, and everything. We want those fun days to come back.
But the thing is, we've got to be patient. We've got to be patient. And while we're being patient, we also have to be measured in our response as this shit's evolving. On the one hand, yes, plan and schedule things as if you're ready to go on. But you also have to keep your plans flexible in order to prepare for an eventuality, whether you were able, where you have to postpone or we have to cancel. In which case, there was some discussion and people were getting ticked off on the Metrocon Facebook page of the current no refund process, policy that Metrocon had.
Yeah.
What was the general consensus?
We want a refund policy.
Okay.
There isn't one. Like that there was
The general consensus is fuck you. Where's my money?
No, to be perfectly fair, their actual policy is if you need to get a refund, that to speak with the head of registration for any and discuss it with them directly. Which okay, that's reasonable enough. But I'm like just like starting off with a blank slate of we don't refund ticket does not provide a good face on there.
No,
But
sir.
of course, that's totally up to MetroCon. We're not trying to tell you how to run your con. But the fans who are buying the tickets from you are asking you to please change how to run the con.
Exactly.
And it's like,
You
and
know,
I'm
if you actually get to run the con to begin with, considering the circumstances.
right.
Well, like I said, the staff of MetroCon, they're going to keep updating us, and we're going to see what happens. I'm expecting another update next week, basically with them saying, "Hey guys, we're still going to go forward in July."
Here we go. Like here's the actual bit in the frequently asked questions page, and you can see it here. Hang on. Hold on.
Can't see shit, Captain.
It's going to
Nope,
get better.
closer. Closer. Nope, still can't see it. Looks like modern art.
Here.
Not a waifu.
That is a waifu. All right, that's the MetroCon page, and that's like a shot of the crowd. Let me just refocus this here. Okay, so you guys see we're not like pulling this out of our butt. I am reading the actual MetroCon frequently asked questions page under registration. The second question: I've registered and can't attend. Can I get a refund? Answer: MetroCon does not offer refunds or rain checks in quotations. Please contact the head of registration with any questions regarding this matter. Her contact info can be found on our contact us page. Okay, so there's a process for this stuff, but like with this sort of situation, we need something that can be more malleable than no, we don't do refunds or rain checks, which is what the larger conventions are offering.
Well, if things
Hang on, this is
fall
so blurry,
through,
but keep going.
If things fall through and they do announce that they have
There
to
we go.
either cancel or postpone, hopefully they will change their mind in regards to the refund policy and give the money back to those who want it.
Or nothing else, do like San Diego Comic Con did and offer the folks to use their registration towards like MetroCon 2021.
Exactly.
Because you gotta take care of those who are feeding into the wallet.
I'm pretty sure that is
Yeah.
in the works. They're just right now they're trying to play it out. We can see how things develop.
Yeah, because like of course we want to assume the best out of those who run these conventions, that they're not just like trying to run off with cash, because that would be that would make them jerks.
No, of course.
But like we want to see, because they're telling us they're in contact with the local government, they're in contact with the convention center, they're trying to stay on top of this shit so that they can continue accordingly. Since they're telling us that they have not received any further updates about this, that they're going ahead as scheduled. Okay, like here's hoping that we can do that. Like fingers crossed. Cross your fingers.
Crossing fingers.
Cross your other fingers.
All right.
Cross more fingers.
Ah,
Cross those thumbs. Those are fingers.
ah.
Okay, so we want that to happen, because like the last thing we want is for conventions to fail, because that's less places for us geeks to get together. On the other hand, they need to be responsible. They need to work on being flexible with this shit, right? Like I hope I'm not talking crazy.
We agree with what you're saying.
All
I
right.
don't think that we don't.
Yeah. See, what becomes the deciding point is here is what will be the decision in the future regarding those particular refunds. Because as Rosa says, she calls this that there's going to be an angry mob, and I believe there will be, because here's the thing: they got the money now. If it goes through, great. That means that you made a good choice in paying them the money, because now you can use it. But if it doesn't go through and they still refuse to give the money back, that means that you're basically going to lose everybody, because you're essentially scamming them out of it. There's no short way of saying it. If you keep the money for tickets for a show that is not going to happen, that's a scam.
Yeah.
That ain't even a hustle. That's just a lie. Now, we would like to hope that it doesn't go to that point. But in the years that we have been, in the many years that we work with cons, we have seen some scummy shit happen behind the scenes.
And
I would like to hope that doesn't happen again.
We would like to believe that the guys running MetroCon, Team Dynamite Productions, are above said shit, and hopefully they're continuing on with actually planning properly. Because, like I said, it's excellent that they're planning and they're operating on the best of conditions, but we also have to prepare for the worst.
Absolutely. And we only have about 30 minutes before the episode's over. So right now I want to actually shift gears and actually get into news of the Square Enix variety. I came across a news link recently that apparently like the folks in Final Fantasy 14 actually like hosted an online vigil for a player who recently passed away due to COVID-19. Did you have a chance to take a look at it?
I haven't seen the article for that. Send me the article. I want to read it.
What about you, Angel?
Have you heard of that?
Unfortunately, though I have heard of it. Though I do play Final Fantasy 14, I don't think I am at the expansion that lets me get there. But Rose has been sending me, the other Rose has been sending me screenshots of it. It was actually quite nice. Harken back to those days when World of Warcraft used to do that, except with no raids because they were actually smart enough.
Yeah.
Then of course it was the raid that we got to see the video of, which was hysterical. That's how we became friends.
All right. Thousands of Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn players gathered on April 11th within the digital world of Square Enix's online role-playing game.
Which article is that?
This article is Inverse.com.
Inverse, okay.
Yep. To pay tribute to a known player known as Fernie Leroy, who recently died from complications related to COVID-19. He was a member of a small, close-knit group of players known as the Free Company, in the game's terminology, who organized a funeral march in her memory. Yeah.
Of course,
Nice.
if you want to read the full article, go ahead and check out Inverse or any other gaming news that actually properly does video game news, and check this out because this is actually really sweet. This is very uplifting and stuff, and we need that sort of solidarity during these times.
Absolutely.
Right, man?
In these difficult times where people are literally dropping. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not exaggerating when I'm talking about people dropping there on the streets. We need a moment of, even if it's to the screen of an MMORPG, sometimes it's important to know that despite our differences and the difficulties that we have to deal with in these difficult times, we are not alone. And yes, even the average antisocial geek can shed a tear for his fellow man, or player in this case. Oh, by the way, things have gotten worse in Cuba. Like, way fucking worse.
How much worse in Cuba, dude? Here, Zay.
Well,
we're gonna.
There is Cuba is not split into states because it's just a big island. It's split into provinces, and there's a particular province called Pinar del Rio. Unfortunately, Pinar del Rio has gone through some complications with their hygiene system that have caused things to go so bad that the virus is targeting people to the point that they are literally dropping dead in the middle of the sidewalk.
Okay.
Holy shit!
That is grim.
It's gotten pretty fucking brutal out there, guys. So remember, be careful. You never know when your loved ones might just decide to croak.
Right.
I love how the continued loss of common sense is resulting in this kind of situation when literal lives are on the line and we still have people stupid enough to decide to break the rules just for the hell of it.
We got people who are storming the beaches of Jacksonville as we speak. Like slobbering all over each other in order to we're free. The virus is a fake, a fraud. We defeated it. It's so stupid.
Fear and isolation will drive a person mad.
My name is Charles Darwin. I have a book that I would like to sell you.
Oh, wait. It looks like you passed away. I'll just go ahead and sell it to this. Oh, looks like he's gone.
Listen, I'm going to leave my pamphlet next to your tombstone so your loved ones can figure out what to do. Beard stroke. Okay, but you know what? That's enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about something else that disappointed everybody.
On the subject of Square Enix. So, Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Holy shit. First of all, we have it downloaded at our house over in the PS4. K-Storm had a chance to play through the game. I took a look at it. I took a look at the game myself. I was blown away from the animations, the cutscenes, the gameplay itself. I love the way how they portrayed Reno and Rude. Personally, I thought that was awesome, and it was just man. Now I can't wait to hop on the controller and start playing.
You're gonna have a good time. Oh, by the way, I would like to offer a brief moment of silence for Reno's Japanese voice actor, Axel's Japanese voice actor, who passed away very recently.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that he was also the voice actor of Axel, and I guess he was the Japanese Quentin Flynn because he did almost everything Quentin Flynn does.
We lost Japanese Quentin Flynn, basically.
God damn it!
It is sad. It is. But he did a wonderful job, and he left us with a beautiful legacy. So Let us not cry because he's gone. Let us smile because once upon a time he was there.
I agree. Now that being
So let's
said,
talk about Final Fantasy 7.
yes, indeed.
Hang on.
So
Let me give him his proper dues over here because he fucking
on.
passed away. Keiji Fujiwara. He passed
Keiji
away.
Fujiwara.
Keiji Fujiwara, thank you very much for the good times and for voicing some of our favorite good boys and bad boys and red hair boys.
Hell yeah.
He even almost looks like Japanese Quentin Flynn.
Right?
He does, doesn't he?
Like,
Hang on.
I'm gonna read.
It's too low. Lower the brightness. Way too damn bright.
There we go.
I'll bring the brightness down, and
Now it's way too dark. It's reflecting your computer screen.
I'll
Close
just
enough.
Just tell him to use his imagination. There
There he is. Much better. Much better.
All right.
Rest in peace, Fujiwara-san. You did a fantastic job, and
in
the
case
scores of voice acting in just seeing you to
in case people can't tell, since we are going to discuss the ending of Final Fantasy VII Remake, I put a spoiler alert for the remainder of the show.
Well, hang on a minute. Angel, have you had a chance to play through the whole thing?
No, I haven't started playing it. I just got accidentally spoiled when I pulled a Juancho.
Oh, right.
Okay, so you spoiled yourself. And,
Yes.
Okay,
Without playing?
for the record, I get to lord that over you from now on.
Oh.
Yeah, you can. You can. But in my humble defense, the ending is so out of nowhere that the reason I got spoiled is because for the first few minutes I was, this doesn't look like it belongs in the game. Is this another movie? Am I watching a spin-off?
All right.
What the fuck is going on? Wait, is this the actual game? And I just became mesmerized by the sheer banana avalanche that happened moments later.
Okay, well, Juan has more details on the spoiler. If you are watching right now and commenting, we are about to talk about the spoilers for the ending of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you don't want to watch it or hear it, tune out now. We are going into the spoiler zone in 5, 4, 3,
2, 1, whatever. Okay, so
Man, I can't believe Goku showed up at the end in Super Saiyan Blue form to fight Sephiroth.
Right.
Did you guys
For
saw
the
that
record,
shit
Nora-
coming? Because I didn't.
because we see Nora, she's saying her hometown is dying, and that is fucked up, and people need to stop congregating. We need to stay away from each other. And I'm sorry for that, Nora. We're trying to keep everyone's spirit up with this ridiculous spoilers over here.
Jesus, bro.
Okay, so there's a shot at the end that makes it look like the original timeline for the beginning of Final Fantasy VII has somehow been altered. Anyone who knows this, the character Cloud had somehow engaged some of the memories of his friend, whose name is Zack Fair. He was the one who was really a soldier first class, and he is like the hypest of the hype boys, and he's the bestest boy. And the two of them were trying to escape Shinra together, and after a bloody and grueling battle against a bunch of security forces and Turks and people, Zack eventually dies. He gets shot from behind and just shot down like a dog. However, in the ending of Final Fantasy VII Remake, we are reviewing that scene happening again. And when we're watching this, like, I know K-Storm and I, we were watching this and we were like looking, oh no, they're going to make us see it in high definition. It was almost as bad as doing it in Crisis Core, where you actually had to play through the scene and die.
Oh, that still hurts to this day.
But he did not die. As a matter of fact, instead of Cloud dragging himself and Zack's dead body into town with him, Zack manages to pick up Cloud's unconscious body and drag them both together into Midgar.
So,
Now,
now for context.
it is highly, like, it looks super stylized because, like, there's this fog of time or whatever the fuck that's happening where our main hero is Zack. You see what his problem is? He's too cool. Cloud, Aerith, Barrett, and Red 13 are in the team, and they're leaving Midgar. And as they're leaving Midgar, this mist of time is going in where you see Zack carrying Cloud crossing paths with them. So it is highly stylistic looking, but it is also inferring something terrible in terms of breaking the canon. It's inferring that, oh my god, Zack lives. But where is he?
Though?
What happened? Is he alive? I don't mean to cut you off, but go ahead, Angel. You're going to go nuts. I want to hear your
no,
pitch.
Actually, I'm going to put this in very precise terms because right now, what the fandom needs to hear is what actually happened. Spoilers. I got to say it again because this needs a double spoiler warning. So, throughout the game, the party is constantly hounded by these Dementor looking some bitches that keep showing up and basically fucking everything up. Also, Sephiroth gets quite a bit of play in this part. He shows up a lot more than in the original. In fact, some people complain that he shows up a little too much, but that's a minor issue. The main problem is near the end, we find out that this Sephiroth is not the Sephiroth we know of. Yeah, Ben Cruz is here saying it's a parallel universe. That's a possibility, but
This
also,
is on stream with us, dude. If
also
you
hi,
can't
Ben.
tell, we are talking spoilers for the ending of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So yeah,
He
go
seems
right
to be
ahead.
aware. So,
Okay.
first off,
You are
this
thoroughly
Sephiroth,
warned.
this appears to be either a parallel Sephiroth or a time-traveling Sephiroth who is coming back in time to fuck around with things for his own purpose. During the final fight, Sephiroth goes as far as to actually kill Barret, only to have Barret immediately revived by the ghosts, who appear to be some sort of weird time janitors. Like, apparently their job is to ensure the timeline goes the way it's supposed to be, and Sephiroth is trying to muck around with that. During the last fight, the characters actually get flashbacks of the ending to the original Final Fantasy VII, which they treat as something that they have to avoid. And then at the end, Sephiroth makes some really cryptic talking about 7 seconds about how the future is not yet set in stone and essentially kind of bails. So as you can imagine, coming off the fact that this game is apparently 99% amazing until this point, this has caused quite a bit of division amongst the fandom. And to be honest with you, almost no one is happy about this one. Especially the Japanese. The Japanese are fucking pissed about this one. And I can understand it.
50-50. People liked it, people didn't.
I don't know about liking it because let me tell you, I am seeing a lot of if you don't like it, you are a horrible person, which seems to be the most. If you don't like it, you're obsessed with nostalgia. Seems to be the biggest argument they can throw, which is not really a very good one. We want to defend your point. Point in case is after many years of hearing what we thought was going to be a remake, we in fact got a reboot instead. See, when we heard remake, and let's be honest, guys, those statements were very fucking vaguely defined. We expect something like what Capcom did with Resident Evil 2. The story is more or less the same, but the gameplay and the aspects of it has been expanded to allow you to do more and experience more of it. Instead, we got a game that was 99% exactly what we wanted, and then at the finish line, it did like a 90-degree turn and went into a really shady neighborhood. It went into the Kingdom Hearts neighborhood. So yeah, to begin with, I gotta be honest with you. I don't like this. Mainly because of the ghosts, meaning that essentially everything our main characters do don't matter. Think about it. The ghosts are there to enforce the timeline. Barret gets fucking murdered and they bring him back to life.
Because he's not meant to be fucking murdered. Would you have liked
that means that
Barret fucking murdered?
No, but that means it doesn't matter what the good guys do. Because the ghosts will force them to do what they're supposed to do. Now, whether they're supposed to be doing that by default or Sephiroth's appearance is causing this shit to happen, we don't know. Point in case is, no matter which way you like it, this is going to affect the next installment. So that means that from the beginning, this was never going to be a remake. This was never meant to be a remake. This is literally Final Fantasy VII, the fanfic.
No, hang on a minute.
Are we sure about that? Because the story itself is being remade as we speak. It doesn't have to be remade identically. It's being remade in a different fashion.
Did anyone wanted that though?
Hang on. Let Juan finish his point.
Here's the thing. Would you have just wanted like a simple straight run through without any alteration to the plot in any way?
Yes. Listen, you can streamline whatever you want, but the plot of Final Fantasy VII is one of those things that there is, and I know, I apologize if I sound like the people who is obsessed with the past, but of all the things you could have changed in the game, why the story? One of the most iconic parts of 7 is the story, and now you're altering in a way that makes it seem like you're going to take it in a completely different direction.
Now we're just talking about the ending, though.
But the ending sets up the rest of the story here. Yeah. You have to remember, the game doesn't end here. This is just like the first volume.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay, so we get that this remake or a reboot problem. I'm not going to really call it a reboot because this is it's not like a reboot where we're changing so much more to the point where it's unrecognizable and just slapping Final Fantasy VII logo. That's what we have Treasure Surfers for. But the point is,
okay, that was pretty good.
Okay, sorry. I saw an opening. I went for it.
No, that was good. That was good.
Like,
that was
okay.
good.
However, the idea of if we're going to snip about the purity, quote unquote, of the Final Fantasy VII story, then why were we so adamant with Crisis Core? Why were we so receptive of Advent Children and of Dirge of Cerberus? With those being prequels and sequels to the story, those also ultimately changed the iconography and the meaning to everyone else's role in the story as a whole. You know, because it ends with Vincent being a giant fucking hero and having to kill vampires and other people. Were like that diminishes. Like, what's the point of these guys fighting to save the world against this meteor of Genova if we got this other shit going on that's even bigger and crazier than that? Like, how is that okay? But us taking the main story and retooling it from the inside out, how is that sacrilegious? Like,
You already said it. Allow me to clarify.
How?
Right? Crisis Core is a prequel, but ultimately, Crisis Core cannot deviate from its main purpose, which is the fact that this is the story of how Zack dies. There's a lot more expansion, there's a lot more characters, but at the end of the day, point A still ends in point B. This is the story of a man who wanted to be a soldier and how his dream brought him to tragedy. Then we have the main story. Then we have Dirge of Cerberus. Guess what? Very few people like Dirge of Cerberus. There's a reason Square Enix barely even talks about it. And Advent Children, it was divisive. But here's the thing, though. Dirge of Cerberus and Advent Children happen after. They don't fuck with what's before. They happen after. And as a result, if you don't like them, you can safely ignore them. But this is not doing something after or before. This is jumping right in the middle, the part that everybody likes and most people didn't want change for any reason at all, and fucking with that. And that is what's causing the division, because you're not just doing something after the point or before the... Okay, you know what? Let me give you a good idea. Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
If you don't like Dragon Ball Super, doesn't matter. You still have Dragon Ball Z. If you don't like the original Dragon Ball, doesn't matter. You still have Dragon Ball Z. And when they made Dragon Ball Z Kai and they cut away a lot of filler, they still left the plot intact. But imagine if we jumped in the middle of Dragon Ball Z and we started fucking around with the plot. And then you declare that to be the new canon.
Who says that this is a new canon? Like, who's to say that this is actually meant to be like, oh, Final Fantasy VII on the PS1, that doesn't matter anymore. This is the only one that matters. No one's saying that. Because just as you're saying, we still, even if you don't wind up liking Final Fantasy VII Remake, we still have Final Fantasy VII. And we can still take that original story and still take it from there. Just like they'd retooled stuff in Dragon Ball Z Kai and how...
They didn't, though. They cut off filler, but they left the plot intact.
Cut off filler.
Popo was made blue.
No, that's not Kai. That's the Nickelodeon edit of Kai. Nobody liked that one. Nobody wanted that shit.
They turned him into a Smurf.
Thank you for reminding me of Blueberry Popo. That shit will haunt my dreams for years to come.
As if Jet Black Popo doesn't haunt it too, you can thank Team Force for that. All you need to see on a black T-shirt, a pair of white eyes, black pupils, and a giant red lip.
To be fair, though, you guys know he wasn't supposed to be
a mimetic icon. Okay.
You know he's not supposed to be a parody of Africans. He's just a genie, right? That's what they are described that in. Yeah. Okay, but I understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, look at what you're saying here. Hey guys, we're remaking one of your favorite games. And we're going to give it fancy new graphics, beautiful music, action gameplay, and the story is going to be roughly the same. And we're going to flesh out the characters even more, except at the end. Oh, what's that? You don't like it? Fuck you. Go play the old one.
How about okay, so I'm trying to find like a good example that we can compare against. What about Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories? We took the story, we built it out. Of course, they kept the card game battle mechanics, and they built it out with like updated Kingdom Hearts 2 styled engine in order to put it out. So that was okay. That was what we were expecting for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Was that?
Yes. The gameplay was retooled, but the story, though fleshed out and letting us know more about the characters, still had the beats of beginning, middle, and end. True, it was the end we've seen before, but the fact that it was shot differently with music and voice acting made it stronger. Basically, and I do apologize once again for sounding like I'm stuck in the past, I can guarantee you without a shadow of a doubt, the majority of people, when we heard Remake, we wanted to see the story, but better, bigger. We wanted more of the same because that's the memory that we built from all those years that Final Fantasy VII shaped our gaming experiences. And the fact that you gave it to us with beautiful graphics and new gameplay and more story and everything was a dream come true. And then we got to the end.
I remember
everything was fine, and then we get to the end, and you just went, "Whoa!"
I'm remembering the one bit that when we were initially discussing this over the phone, Angel, you gave me a comparison, and I'm going to share this.
Yes.
You're
yes,
eating
go ahead.
at a fine dining restaurant. You ordered your main course. You ordered dessert, and as your dessert's coming out, you get a marble brick next to your dessert.
No. You don't get dessert. You get a marble brick.
No, we were saying that it was part of the dessert that you get.
All right, no. I apologize. After dessert, you are done eating dessert. Dessert is good. You're like, that's great. Can I get the check? Fuck you. Here's a brick.
However, here's the thing, and we got into the debate of that, like, okay, this brick is actually very nice. It's marble. It's shiny. It's very well sculpted. What's this brick for? And like, it doesn't matter. It was part of your thing. Just take the brick.
But maybe why? No, brick.
Just take the brick. Like, but I don't want this brick. It's okay. You're getting the brick. You got everything else that you asked for. We're just giving you a brick as well. Take the brick.
But why would you give me a brick? Listen, man, I don't get paid to tell you about the brick. I have a brick.
Just you have a brick.
Okay.
Just take the. In this instance, because like I would say, okay, Tetsuya Nomura is the one who's still behind the story on all this, right? He's still
actually no.
Really? Who's behind it all?
He's doing production. The one behind this is Nojima, who is known for writing dubious parts of the Kingdom Hearts franchise.
Which part, for example?
How do you define dubious in your opinion?
Yes, please define dubious.
Everything after 2.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, no, Nomura is here. He's supervising. But apparently at one point, Nojima slipped off the leash, and this is what happened. Oh, by the way, funny you mentioned that, Juan, because you just gave me an idea for that. See, there's actually 2 allegories, not just one. The first one, with the brick, is for the people who don't hate this. They don't like it either, but they don't know what's the point of it, and they don't understand it. The second one is the same, except that instead of a brick, you know what you get?
What?
A glass of lemon juice. And you have to drink it.
That's why I'll pass on the lemon juice. No, you don't
understand. It's part of the meal. You gotta drink it. And you know what that means? That means that no matter how delicious the meal is, all you got left is a sour taste in your mouth. Those are the people that hate it.
The ones the lemon juice?
No, sir. High quality, premium, 100% freshly squeezed lemon juice. It's not even a big glass. It's like a shot glass, but it is really strong lemon juice.
With a little bit of pulp.
No. Juice.
Just juice.
No pulp, just juice.
We put this thing on a fucking pressure. You know those things they use to crush metal? That level is there. Pure juice. We made a materia out of lemon juice, and we're going to equip it to your taste buds.
Oh my god.
Drink the juice.
But I don't want to drink the juice.
No, I'm sorry, sir. You paid for the juice. I did, but the menu didn't say anything about juice. It's right here, sir. That's the dessert section. Yes, it's juice from a fruit. It's dessert. What? So on one side, either you walk out with a brick or you walk out with lemon juice. Either you walk out confused or you walk out with a sour taste in your mouth.
Well, we've only got...
That's what this ending has done.
On this, we could go on this, but the point is, like, okay, I get the allegory and I get the concern on this. However, I am still holding a bit of optimism on this because we still have a whole lot more Final Fantasy VII to go. They're going to seed this out in the next couple of years. So, like, the really the best way to judge all this is in its completion. That way we could see if these alterations, if this weird wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey shit was happening, if it wound up enhancing the story or if it detracted
from
it. Because these sort of changes can, if handled properly, actually enrich the process and can actually provide a much fuller story, a grander story. Maybe something that we weren't expecting, but something that we can appreciate. I don't know yet, but this is a shock twist, and we're still operating under the assumption that this is an actual literal time thing that happened. It could be a symbolic thing that happened because they were passing through a time mist. We don't know if that even is going to have any sort of bearing on it. We could open the next chapter of Final Fantasy VII Remake with Zack taking Cloud, like carrying over with a smile on his face, and then getting shot in the back and then dying.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe it'll be completely something else, and it'll go right back into the same story structure.
What we need to do is keep an open mind on this shit.
Third eye open this. That being said, if I can give like I said, I've been giving you the opinions of everyone else. Here's my personal opinion.
Go ahead.
I am the guy with the brick. I don't hate it. I'm just very confused and hoping that this will make sense the next time I come to the restaurant. The one part that bothers me is the fact that the ghosts, just those stupid plot ghosts that basically exist to fuck everything up.
I thought that was just weird shit that was like being produced by byproducts.
Nope. When you fight them and you look at the enemy description, it tells you these things mine the timeline and are trying to fix it. Now, here's the problem. The plot doesn't seem to agree with them. Notice that there's many changes in the game. The fact that the grunts from Avalanche that died in the original are still alive, which, hey, happy fun times. Two of them are alive.
We don't know if Jessie's still alive.
We don't know. She might. But it seems like in their attempts to fix the timeline, they seem to conveniently forget a bunch of shit that they're altering. So who knows? Maybe that's part of the plot. But here's the part that bothers me. The part where Sephiroth outright kills one of your party members and then the party member just gets brought back. That means two things. A, Sephiroth himself cannot change anything, and the ghosts are actively undoing his efforts. Or B, nobody can change anything, and the ghosts are actively hindering everyone's efforts. I can live with point A. I will be really fucking pissed with point B.
It seems more point A. It seems more they're actively.
I really hope it's point A.
Because, we know this isn't what Sephiroth's meant to do at this moment. We know this for a fact because we know the story. And
we know that's not even the Sephiroth we're used to.
Exactly. Right. So, how is this Sephiroth appearing here? We don't know.
Well, so all I can do in this case is carry my brick once I get my copy of the game. Like I said, even for those who hate it, even the people who hated this with a burning passion admitted that 99% of the game until this point, fantastic.
Well, it's absolutely
true.
The problem is, endings are important and endings can fuck everything up. So as much as I hate to say it, because I really hate to say this, all we can do is wait and see. On one hand, who knows? They may take this in an interesting direction. We might have a good experience out of it. On the other hand, they could completely fuck this up. And I won't lie. I'm not feeling very optimistic. Because, let's see, Final Fantasy XII was a disappointment. Final Fantasy XIII was a disappointment in 3 parts. Final Fantasy XIV was such a ginormous fuck-up that they had to destroy it and remake it to turn it into a good game. And the less I want to say about 15, the better.
So basically, as a fan of Square Enix and Final Fantasy, you have been thoroughly disappointed over the years.
I got burned many times, man, and I keep giving them chances, and they keep letting me down. And hey, you can disagree with me if you like. If you like those games, cool, enjoy them. I'm not gonna judge you, piece of shit. But
fucker,
I personally like the experience that Square Enix has been giving me for the last few years has not been the kind of thing that I enjoyed. And who knows? Maybe this will be the one that breaks the term. I want to believe, but at the same time, I've been burned too many times, man.
Well, then
after a while, the pain is getting to me. I'm feeling like Evangelion 3.3 is happening to me again,
Well, then in the meantime, if you can, find a chance to either purchase the game or download it online and play through Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I will, because I really want to believe that these games could be good again. And you know what? No, I take that back. This game is good. This game plays good. It sounds great. It has an amazing, beautiful development. And the few things I think about the cast, and that they just roll them back to their original selves. Pre-advent children, angst, Facebook crawling in my skin. These wounds they will not heal. Amazing. The game was fucking everything I wanted until we got to this point. And
what happens? Trust me, you're going to enjoy the gameplay.
I want to believe it, but this is not a minor blemish. This is, you know what? I'm not even going to call it a blemish.
We got to wrap up.
It's a brick. It's a big, heavy-ass brick, and whether I like it or not, I'm going to have to carry it.
Well, I'm calling it a blemish because, like you said, Juan, the entire game is not in completion yet.
Okay, well,
It's part one. It is part one. I'll give you that. It's part one.
Part one.
I hate you all. I'm cutting. I'm cutting off your microphones.
All right. Well, anyways, this has been another episode of the Ravens Flock. Just to give you guys an update, if you guys are still watching, on Monday we will be putting out a podcast episode of the Black Files. We will be addressing the darkest week in professional wrestling, which circulates around the WWE and the latest events.
That's why tonight I was wearing my Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins T-shirt, because they were both fired out of this shit.
Yes,
because of this. And like, I'm gonna tell you all about this, Angel, when we get off. But frankly, I'm showing my love for Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins tonight, and I'm gonna spearhead on this discussion about what WWE has been doing in light of this whole coronavirus situation. It's shady, it's shit, and it needs to stop.
It's shady, it's shit, needs to stop. There's a lot of information, a lot of numbers that we're going to be detailing on this episode, and I've already posted it online. If for those of you watching, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to send us an email on the ravensflockonline@gmail.com. We will address them on the Black Files.
And of course, if you don't want to email us, DM us here on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So go ahead, tell us all about your thoughts on this shit. All right.
Oh, by the way, Ben says maybe he's from Advent Children. And you know what? If somehow this whole fucking trilogy ends with Cloud swinging the first Tsurugi and doing 6 sword combos in the air against Sephiroth, I might find it in myself to forgive this bullshit. Oh yeah. Oh, he says the game is like 40 hours long, so we'll see.
I won't tell you what happens in the game because it's relatively close to what you're saying, but you know what? You'll still enjoy it. All right. Anything else you want to say, Angel, before we go?
No, it's been great hanging out with you guys, metaphorically speaking. It's good to be here, and I look forward to the next podcast where we'll see just how much of humanity needs to die to the law of survival of the fittest before they finally decide to stay inside. Holy shit!
Wash your damn hands and juágase la nalga. God damn it.
Wipe your ass.
Clean your boot holes.
Don't touch other people.
Yes, please. Do not touch other people.
Sanitize your surroundings.
Stop it!
All right.
Well, that's it. Joe's dead. Good night, everybody.
All right. Angel,
right.
We'll see you later. All right, man?
Thank you, everyone, for watching and for listening. This has been another awesome episode of The Ravens Flock, and we are out.